want to start off by saying welcome to the broadcast. My name is Jamal Rich. Thank you for tuning into the channel. This is a follow-up to a story that I did, and it's concerning the Rockland County HANNUKAH stabbings up in Muncie, New York. It's about 30 miles north of New York City, if I'm correct. And I did when it first started. The first night it happened, I did the report, and then I thought it was just kind of quiet. And then I did a report because I didn't hear anything on it, which was strange. And so now I found some more information. They have, of course, they found the suspect shortly after it happened. They didn't release a lot of information right away. The news, what's dominating the news now in America is the shooting that happened out in the church in Texas, where one of the parishioners took down a shooter after I think he shot 2 people. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back into this story and give you some of my takes on why I think the story is not as big as it is. Also, I ended up in researching this story. I found that there have been quite a bit of attacks against Jewish people up in Muncie, New York. And you hardly ever hear about this stuff, like actual violent attacks that happen. But so where we are now in the story, they have the suspect. The suspect's name is Grafton Thomas. That's Grafton Thomas. And this story that I'm sourcing now is from the New York Post. So if you are interested in looking that up, you can go ahead and go there and find that. All right, and the title of the article is "Mom of Muncie Stabbing Suspect Tried to Get Him Committed." Okay, so already they're going with the mental illness thing. But if the attack, let me go into the story and then I'll give my take on it. All right. The man accused of using a machete to hack 5 Orthodox Jews at a Hanukkah party had Jewish friends while growing up. Even did Sabbath chores for them, his mom told the Post. Grafton Thomas, 37 years old, was born in a Jewish neighborhood in Crown Heights. Kim Thomas, who's Grafton's mother, said in her first public statement since her son's arrest on Saturday night's bloodbath in Muncie. Kim, 55, says her son would help one Jewish family observe the Sabbath by performing tasks prohibited by their religious beliefs. Grafton grew up going there on Friday afternoon to turn off the lights for them. So I'm from the southern United States. I didn't grow up around Jewish people, so I don't know a lot of the traditions and a lot of the customs. So apparently Grafton grew up in a neighborhood, and I am kind of familiar with Crown Heights, and I know that there are a lot of Orthodox Jews that live in Brooklyn. And Grafton participated in what's called the practice commonly known as serving as a SHABBOS, SHABBOS, GOY, a non-Jew who performs Sabbath tasks. So again, I'm not well versed on Jewish culture, so I don't know what's forbidden. So apparently Grafton would go over and do these things during this time for one particular family. Before his arrest, Kim said Grafton was always welcomed warmly whenever he returned to Brooklyn from their home in upstate Greenwood Lake. If he goes down there, anyone that sees him on the block in the neighborhood hugs him, welcomes him, he said. I guess she's painting a picture that he's a nice guy, or he was a nice guy. And let me continue. Several longtime Jewish residents of the block where Grafton formerly lived told the Post they didn't remember him as a neighbor. Kim Thomas, a nurse, also disputed allegations by federal authorities that a swastika and references to Adolf Hitler, a Nazi and Nazi culture found in her son's journal were evidence of anti-Semitic sentiments. Instead, she said his writings are symptoms of mental illness. There it is. Which his lawyer have said includes schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. So, okay. He writes all over papers and circles, letters, or words like a typical schizophrenic mind, she said. She said her son was being held under suicide watch in the Orange County jail where she visited him Tuesday. I said, "Mommy loves you," to a 37-year-old fucking man. And then you wonder why he's mentally fucked up. You said, "Mommy loves you. I'm going to do everything to help." And he said, "We thank you." I said, "Who's we?" Kim said. To this day, he has not received medical attention. So he's being turned into the victim already, huh? Kim also confirmed by her pastor that she tried to get Grafton committed during a May 14th court hearing after his arrest last year for allegedly menacing cops. Kim said her son was speaking to her when he stopped finishing his sentences, which she described as a sign of mental illness flaring up. Kim says she called 911 and asked for a mental health worker. Who calls 911 and asks for a mental health worker? Is that some kind of new thing that they do? Sounds crazy. But cops responded, really? And accused Grafton of threatening them with a knife. He got no help. They treated him as a criminal. They treated him as a criminal case, and that was all, she said. And that was it. So they already laying they're laying a premise, laying down the foundation that this guy is crazy. So if he has all these mental problems, how did he get access to a car? I need to know that. And what prompted him to go up to that part of New York when he lived right there in Brooklyn where Jewish people were? So if his thing was just to hurt Jewish people, why didn't he just hurt the Jewish people that were there? Why did he go to up to that part of New York? And I mean, he had enough sense to flee. So I don't know where. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have any formal training in mental illness or diagnosing mental illnesses. But if he was that messed up, where did he get the car from? Whose car was it? How often did he have this car? And what prompted him to go to Muncie, New York? So I think this man's probably a part of one of these Black Power groups, pro-Black groups that openly talk shit about other religions, specifically the Jews. So I don't know why there is such. See, it's not that they're covering it up. It's just that they're not reporting it. And then to find that they had more incidents of attacks against Jewish people in Muncie, specifically in that city, where I read one report where I was reading it, and because I thought I was reading about this one, but it was about another one where an individual ran somebody over with a car, and and they were just so slow to call it a hate crime. I don't know. For me, if you do something to harm another person, I can, from that, you pretty much hate the person. I mean, what else would prompt you to do something that you know could kill or, you know, cause major harm to somebody? So, but shout out to the people from Israel that left comments on the last video. Again, man, to my Jewish brothers and sisters, I did not understand. I've heard, but I didn't understand until I started looking into this story, that you guys are being attacked, like really attacked, openly attacked. And again, I don't claim to know why or whatever. Maybe somebody can enlighten me on what is the beef. You know what I mean? I know it's not legitimate, whatever it is, but where does this come from? Somebody please put in the description box. I just got on the Patreon, so if you like to follow me on Patreon, Jamal Rich, same as the channel, please go ahead and follow me over there. Again, subscribe, hit the like button if you like the video, and thank you once again. Peace.